Hello and welcome to Tarodev. Today I'll be showing you how to save your game data. That could be settings or configs or, for example, what characters the player's unlocked, what character the player's currently using, like volume and all that stuff. So the way I do it is via a save manager. So let's create a new C# script and call it save manager. And also we'll create, I always have a manager's root object, but you can put it anywhere. So I'll just make another object under that, a child, and I'll just chuck that script on there. Now let's open it up. Now, first to save something, you'll need something to save. So what I generally do is I'll have a class and I'll call it save data or something like that. And as we're serializing it and saving it, we'll need to mark it with the serializable attribute. Make sure you have not picked the serialized field attribute, as that's a Unity attribute and it's unrelated to what we need. So serializable. And in here, I'll have stuff like, let's say int what level is the player at. Maybe a bool for the sound, if they've got sound on, a bool for the music, and let's say one for the, if they have vibrate turned on, if it's a mobile device. And then let's say we've got a series of, like you've got character types. So say you've got like a mage, an archer, or what have you. So let's say we've got character type enum, and this will have an archer, a warrior, say a magician, or a mage. And then in here we'll say public character type, current character. And then also you might have, these might be unlockables, for example. You might have like 20 of these and they're unlockable. So to keep track of what characters the player has actually unlocked, you could have a list of character types. And this could be your unlocked characters. Whoops. Like that. And that should be enough for now. So in our save manager, let's always keep a public static save data reference. And this will be what you refer to throughout your game to find out, for example, what has he got the volume on, or what character is he currently using, etc. Next, we'll be needing the save path, where we're going to be actually storing this data. So that will be save path, and then we'll return a string, which will be application.persistent-data-path. So this will vary depending on the operating system, and Unity will handle that for us. And then in that folder, we will name it save. And then generally the extension, you can put whatever you want. You can also put no extension. I like to actually name the extension after whatever the game is. So for now, I'll just call it game. All right, so let's create the load and save methods. Public void save. So first what we're going to do is we're going to convert our save data into a JSON object. So we can use Unity's JSON utility to do that, to JSON, and just put in our save data like that. All right, next we're actually wanting to write this to disk. So let's use a using statement, and we'll say, we'll create a new file stream equals, whoops, new file stream. And the first argument will be where on the disk we're actually wanting this file stream to be targeting, and then file mode will be create. Okay. Now, to actually convert this into bytes to put it into our file, we will need a binary formatter, and let's just call this formatter equals new binary formatter. And I made this a global variable as we're going to be using it also in the load. Okay. So then here we'll say formatter, serialize, and then let's take it, put in our stream, and then we need the actual data. So let's put in our JSON object like that. And just with that, you can save data. All right, next, let's create a way to load our data, which we'll be doing on startup generally. So first we will use a new stream. So var stream equals new file stream, put in our save path, and then this one will be file mode open. Okay, Let's grab our serialized data. So let's say back to the formatter, deserialize, and then put in our stream. Next, let's directly assign our saved data to JSON utility from JSON and use the generic method so we can pass in save data and pass in the data here. And this is after a string, so we can actually cast this directly to a string like that. And there we go. That's as simple as we need it to load. All right, so now that we've got the load method, what happens if you go to load your saved data at the very start of the game, but this is the first boot of your game and there's no save file there? Well, we should seed the initial save. So what we can do is we can check file exists and put in our save path. So basically we're saying if this file does not exist, well, in that case, let's seed the save. So save data equals new save data. And let's say they start on level 1. Let's say music is set to true, sound set to true, vibrate true. Let's say their starting character, let's say everybody starts as the archer. And then the unlocked characters, we'll make that a new list. And it will have obviously archer in it, as that is the starting character. And then we can say save, like that. So now there will always be a saved game ready to go as soon as we get down here. All right, so now it would be good if we could delete the save game. So let's make a static function and call this delete save. And then what we'll do is we'll say if the file exists, and then we'll send in our save path. And as this is a static function, we can't just access a non-static variable. So let's turn this into static. And that could also be private as we're only locally accessing it. We'll send our save path there. So if it exists, then let's go file, delete, save path. And to conveniently access this, let's make it a menu item and call it from the developer menu and then delete saved game. So lastly, let's add a little bit of tamper protection to our save game. You don't want people going in and then editing the save game, maybe adding additional characters or changing their current character or upping their level or what have you. So like any good developer, I stole a little function from Stack Overflow. There's no passphrase or anything. You'll just put in a plain text string. It will give you back a ciphered string. Put in the ciphered string, it will give you back the plain text string. Simple as that, but probably good enough to deter 99% of people that are wanting to tamper with your game. Okay, so encrypt, decrypt. So what we can do now, when we save our game, instead of directly saving the JSON, we could encrypt, decrypt, put in the JSON, like that. So that is now saving an encrypted JSON string. And then when we load, we can simply right here, we can encrypt, decrypt our data. All right, so just to show you it all put together, I'm going to create a start function, and on start, I'm going to load. So it's going to come down here, it's going to check if our save file exists. If it doesn't, it's going to seed the original one, and then it's going to load it. So I'll also put a breakpoint here just so I can grab the save path. Go into the game, press start. Yep, it's hit our breakpoint, and I'll just copy this folder here. Let's go to it. Nothing there. So we'll step through. It's seeding our original one. There we go, it's turning it into JSON. So that there is what you would normally see in the save file, but as we are encrypting it, I will show you what it does look like. Let's open it up in a text editor. And it's saying it's not really supported to view this binary data, but would you like to open it anyway? I will, and that is what people will see once they try to dive in and edit their saved data. So it's light protection, but I would say that it works for 99% of cases. So to delete your saved game, you can just click the developer menu that you created and click delete saved game. That has indeed deleted our saved game. So if that taught you anything, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you for the next tutorial.